just a few, young, inquisitive, and so new, trying out for our first time. We laying it all on the line for true, yeah, for true. Only we know what we can do.
One day, one of my older friends came and he was like, "Hey, he wants to try." So from there, he tried it, and from there, we made a team for a U21. Well, it has a lot more physicality and it's more physical. You know, you can get hurt, but it's a lot of fun to play. Typical day, come right like on a Tuesday. We'll reach here like five. Well, I reach here 5 o'clock since I'm the captain. By 5:10, 5:20, most of my players arrive, so we get warm up by 5:30. We're gonna take about 5, 6 hops around the field. We're gonna get into some physicalities. We'll learn new drills. We'll be doing lineouts, rucks. We're doing everything we can with the amount of players that show up because we're only 10 players.
Yeah, for true. Only we know what we can do. Then our numbers began to grow. 4 to 7, now 10 and more.
So I moved to Belize in 2014 with the intention of introducing rugby into Belize because I knew it wasn't here, which was kind of strange, being as it's a former British Commonwealth country. And so I set up 6 teams around the country in Hopkins, in Belmopan, in Cayo, in Belize City, and Orange Walk. And we had a team initially in San Pedro as well. And I ran it for 10 years, training the teams, getting the coaches, having matches. I also set up a national team back in 2018. And we had our first rugby international in 2018 in Belize City against Guatemala. So I had about 30 odd kids, age ranging from up to 7 to 23, all out on a Saturday playing rugby. And out of that, we've developed a senior team. And they are planning now to get together and have a tournament, as well as going overseas to play in the US and other countries in the near future. Rugby is quite an old sport. It was one of the very first sports actually organized with a complete set of rules and regulations and stuff like that. And it came out of what used to be called football in the UK. What happened was, on a regular basis, huge gangs of kids would get together and they'd be running around the streets and fields kicking the football around. And that would go on for a long, long, long time. And then one day back in 1823, one of the guys decided to pick up a rugby ball instead of kicking it and ran all the way to the opposition's goal and put the ball on the ground. And this kind of stunned everybody because that had never happened before. And they didn't quite know what to do. So after that game was over, they got together and 2 footballs came out of that. One was what we call associated football, which is what we see every day now with soccer teams all over the world. And then the other one that came out was called rugby. And it was called rugby because that event happened in a town in Northamptonshire called Rugby. And so rugby was born. And the major differences are that you can pick up the ball, you can run with the ball, you can kick the ball, but in order to score points, you have to put the ball over the opposition team's line. There's no net involved. You put it over a line. And then over the years, other things developed from that. So once you put the ball over the line, you can now kick it over a crossbar to get additional points. And they realized that just by picking up the ball and throwing it, the game was a bit too easy. So they then made rules and regulations about the ball can't be thrown forward. It's got to be passed sideways or backwards. You can't kick the ball to a member of your team in the other half. You can only kick the ball when the rest of your team is behind you. So it developed a whole new animal all of its own. And then rugby quickly spread around the world. And out of the sport of rugby, you've got Australian rules rugby, you've got American football, you've got Gaelic football, and a whole range of other things. Well, right now, the guys are all in training for a competition which we're hoping to go to in Florida in April called Tropical Sevens. It's a big competition where about 100 plus clubs from all over the world get together to compete in this competition. There's a competition every October in Guatemala. There are inter-regional competitions. The Central American Games plays rugby. So there's a lot of opportunities The only thing that holds us back, well, there are two things really. One, obviously, is the funding, because to send a team from Belize to anywhere in the region almost, you've got to fly via the US. And as we all know, that administration has just increased all of the visa fees. So whereas it used to cost like $350 to get a visa to go via the US, it's now $970. So the cost is astronomical now to send a team anywhere. And the other thing is that in order for a club, rather than a national team, in order for a club to compete overseas, you have to be registered with your national governing body. And right now, that is a big problem for us because our national governing body isn't really active and they're refusing to register us as a club. There are lots of reasons why they don't want to do that. We've never really understood what they are, so we're still struggling to get that done. Some competitions don't need the registration, but ones that are run by, so for example, USA Rugby, we have to get that registration, and that has been a huge challenge for us.
Well, I'm hoping to see for something big as baseball and softball in Belize, if not bigger than volleyball, hopefully. It's something that can be in every school to play.